It's tough, and that's where, look, I don't think Jason Garrett was a good head coach, but he was Jerry's guy, and he got along great with Jerry. And I think Mike McCarthy is probably doing a pretty good job of getting along with the Jones family. There's certain things here that are probably way different than other places. And so it's the one thing of, yeah, I do think Sean Payton is a better overall coach than Mike McCarthy. Do I think Sean Payton makes everything right here and gets us to a championship? I don't know. And I want to take a little bit of hate off of Jerry. As I think more people are hating him more today than like I kind of do, because I don't think Jerry was a major problem this year.
Oh,
I agree.
I think it was more of in any order you want to put the offensive coaching, the head coach, the quarterback, the offense in general. So I don't know if Jerry had a lot to, the penalties obviously were a main, and that can be, contributed to obviously the head coach or lack of discipline or focus. And, and then it goes to, I know this is probably too much of a stretch here, but Jerry doesn't sacrifice very much for this franchise. I mean, it's all about him. And so you are asking the players to sacrifice a lot for the greater good. And I don't know how much Jerry really wants to sacrifice for the greater good, but I don't think Jerry was a major problem this year when we were splitting up the percentage of it. But then when it's hiring another coach, I just don't know is Zeke playing this much because Jerry and Steven are demanding it? Because, look, just a few years ago, take it for what it's worth, you can call him a complete liar and a buffoon. But Cole Beasley said that the owner/general manager here does do things that make it where certain people play a certain amount of time.
I believe that. I 100%
DeMarcus Ware when he left to go to Denver. Now, I know this is a decade ago almost when that happened, but he kind of said, wow, it's interesting how things are run when you're trying to win a championship versus how things are run in Dallas. And I know it wasn't a direct quote that way, but I can remember DeMarcus Ware's quotes going, wow. So he goes to another organization and he sees like how they're trying to do certain things. And I know Denver hasn't won doodly squat since 2015, if I have the year right, they won the championship. But anyways, I don't know. I would like Sean Payton, but I don't know if he solves all the problems here in Dallas.
I guess that's that's a huge part of it. Do you think Sean Payton is a better coach?
Yes.
I feel
but not like a lot. Not like you. Oh, I don't think you made this like gigantic shift in the hierarchy of the NFL. I'm like, okay, that's an upgrade. But like, I don't think we changed the world or anything.
Yeah, I mean, like all of his offenses are, from 2006, Kevin, and you want to go points or yards?
Points.
5th, 12th, 1st, 11th, 2nd, 10, 9, 8, 2, 4, 3, 3, 5, 19. So that since he's been in New Orleans, 19 was the worst he's had, and that was because of what he had this year. But what was his record this year? What was weren't they still like almost in the playoffs this season?
Yeah,
that's weird that he was able to piece that together that way. And I think Mike has so many good points of like, can he come in here and change Dak Prescott? Does he know what the problem was? And he's like, oh yeah, no, we don't need Kellen. I got this. I just need a guy that can install the offense throughout the week. I'll call the plays, but I can fix Dak. Don't worry about that. And if that's the truth, because McCarthy didn't seem to think that there was anything wrong with Dak. When Dak asked him what I can do, he said, you just be who you've been all season.
And that right there, I think, is what so many people would be kind of pinning their hopes on, right? Is that Sean Payton would come in here and fix whatever ails Dak. And I know there are some people who are like, well, the only thing that ailed Dak was his calf. You just watch, he'll get back. And I'm like, dude, like right on. I appreciate that line of thinking, but we're going into year 7. And usually you don't see like this discernible increase in ability after year 7, especially after having back-to-back seasons where injuries played a part in how your season ended. So I think people would want to bring in Sean Payton because they're like, this will make the difference with Dak, and then everything else will figure itself out.
Yeah.
I honestly do believe that.
I don't know, like, Dan Quinn changed your defensive culture this year. Dan Quinn's gone. So who is Sean Payton changing the defensive culture too? Because and one of the things I know that they love about Parcells or about Sean Payton is some of the things that Bill Parcells used to do. You saw the story on ESPN a couple of years ago about Sean Payton leaving traps and cheese around the locker room. Bill Parcells did that stuff. He's leaving a gas can, asking if you have enough gas left in the tank. Bill Parcells did that stuff. There's stuff that I think Jerry still loves and admires about Sean Payton. I think that people that were like yesterday that were like, get him, yes, let's go get this guy, especially after the Ian Rappaport report, that they want something to change, and they don't trust that Mike McCarthy can do it, and they never did trust him anyway.
I tell you that Sean Payton is looking for a way out of the Saints, and it would take a 3rd-round draft pick. Do you do it?
Yes. 3rd-round draft pick?
3rd round. Mike?
Yes.
I'll lean towards yes.
You seem like really put out about that, though.
I think Sean Payton is a better coach than Mike McCarthy. I hate giving up players and potentially decent players for a coach that I just don't know if he's going to make the ultimate difference here. And I think Sean Payton is better than Mike McCarthy.
Okay, because I think if that was the trade-off, and I remember...
Do you think we win a chance? Let me ask you guys both this question. Do you think if that's done, if Sean Payton becomes our coach in 2022,
no,
in the next 3 years, are we a world champion?
No.
Or a Super Bowl champion?
No. And we're going to... Corey, I definitely want to hear your answer, but something that we're going to dive into at 1 o'clock kind of speaks to why I think the answer is no, but I'm sticking with no.